Happy Tuesday, guys. And today we're going to go ahead and do our rough draft and type out our ideas that we did in our examples from the previous day in our circle maps in the pillar. So in the following slide, we're going to go ahead and just jot those down in complete sentences now that we know what we want to talk about in our letter. So now that we have brainstormed and came up with 3 suggestions for the upcoming second graders, type out your ideas in complete sentences and make sure to include an example for each idea on slide 7. So slide 7 just looks like this. So obviously this is not a letter format yet. I just want y'all to go ahead and kind of know what you're going to want to say, write them down so you have your 3 reasons, and so that way you can write them in complete sentences before we're going to go ahead and then finally we're going to write everything down here in this letter, but I want to make sure that first we write it in complete sentences. Okay, so my 3 suggestions at first I'm going to talk about some tips that they can follow. I'm going to talk about the teachers and your favorite memories. Okay, so now we're jotting those in complete sentences. So, first maybe you want to talk about your, advice. So what advice do you have for them? Okay, so what advice do you have for them? So some tips or a tip to have a successful year is to make sure to follow directions and pay attention so you don't miss anything important. Okay, and then maybe you have another tip. So you can definitely write more tips. This is just, I'm not going to write everything in complete sentences that way for the sake of time. But then maybe what's another thing that you want to mention? So you also want to mention your teachers. So this year or so in 3rd grade, you have 2 teachers instead of 1. And you switch classes. So maybe then you want to mention, how are your teachers like? So maybe some of you are in the trio, so you have 3 teachers instead of 2. So definitely mention that, write about, let them know how your teachers were like, or you don't have to, so if you pick something else. And then for your 3rd reason, but make sure it is in complete sentences, guys, and it's about the 3 main things that you wanted to talk about. So for me, it was going to be, I'm going to mention tips that I have for them in the first box. I'm going to talk about, my teachers and how we're switching classes in the second box. And then my 3rd thing I wanted to mention in my letter was going to be about my favorite memories. So in complete sentences, and then you are going to, once you are done, you are going to, on the following days, we're going to do this in the letter. But for now, just do complete slide 7 for today, and then we'll worry about our letter starting tomorrow. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We are here to help you. And then you can go back to your Google Classroom once you are done. All right, bye, guys.